The title of the course, Modern Algebra. Dear learners, we from the Educational Multimedia Research Center, Madurai Kamaraj University, welcome you to the massive open online course on Modern Algebra. This course is a 4-credit course which contains 32 modules. We begin with the fundamental theorem of algebra, which says that every n-degree polynomial has n roots. But finding the roots of polynomials of order more than even 5 is really difficult. Modern algebra is an effective tool to find the roots of such polynomials. Why finding the roots of polynomials are so important? Because many real-life problems can be converted into equations in general polynomials. So, finding the roots of polynomials are important. Much of modern algebra or abstract algebra involves properties of sets together with operations. In the course on modern algebra, we have discussed about two major concepts, namely groups and rings. Basically, group is a structure which involves a set with a single operation, whereas ring is a structure which involves a set with two operations. There are 32 modules in the course and we have divided them into 5 units. The first 18 modules deal with group theory and the last 14 modules deal with ring theory. The first unit contains 6 modules in which we introduced groups and discussed its elementary properties and also some special group structures. The topics covered in Unit 1 are groups, introduction, subgroups, elementary properties of abelian groups, elementary properties of non-abelian groups, the group of integer modulo n, complex roots of unity. The second unit contains 6 modules in which we introduce 2 important groups, namely the general linear groups and the group of symmetries. Also, several properties of cyclic groups, subgroup generated by a subset, cosets and group homomorphisms are discussed. The topics covered in Unit 2 are cyclic group, the general linear group, the group of symmetries, the subgroup generated by a subset, cosets and index of subgroup, properties of group homomorphisms. The third unit also contains 6 modules in which we discussed about normal subgroups, quotient groups and class equations. Also, we study the direct product of groups. Further, we prove 2 important theorems in group theory called the fundamental theorem of finite abelian groups and Cayley's theorem. Finally, we solved several problems in group theory. The topics covered in Unit 3 are normal subgroups, quotient groups, class equations, direct product of a finite number of groups, fundamental theorem of finite abelian groups, Cayley's theorem and problems in group theory. The fourth unit contains 7 modules in which we discuss the concept of rings and its elementary properties. Also, some special ring structures are discussed. Further, ideal properties are also discussed. The topics covered in Unit 4 are ring, an introduction, class of rings, rings from number systems, rings of real quaternions and rings of continuous functions, rings of matrices, polynomial rings, subrings and ideals. The fifth unit contains 7 modules in which we have dealt on the subset structures of rings called the set of zero divisors, set of units, maximal ideals and prime ideals. Further, properties of special kind of rings, namely the integral domains, Euclidean domains, principal ideal domains and fields with its relationship are discussed. The topics covered in Unit 5 are the set of zero divisors and group of units, properties of ring homomorphisms, operations on ideals, integral domains and fields, maximal ideals and prime ideals, Euclidean domains and principal ideal domains, unique factorization domains. In this course, Modern Algebra, we have tried to cover the basic concepts of group theory and ring theory as extensively as possible for the students at an undergraduate level. We hope that this course will serve as a useful tool to any learner who wishes to know more about modern algebra.